And now we will welcome also Casper Ruud, who had a tough experience at the Australian Open. But how are you now?
I'm doing well. I'm in Norway, doing my recovery, and it's going well in the right direction, and actually preparing for some clay court tennis, which is not everyone does that in January, February, but for me the South American swing is coming, and I'm looking forward to going down, but of course looking also forward to the match that we're about to see.
Now, how was Rafa looking out there so good at 35 years old, being able to play like this, having so many dubs before the tournament?
Yes, I think he's impressed everyone, and myself also. He looks fit, he looks lean, he's moving well, and I think we were all not surprised, but we were all kind of curious on how he would move after his foot injury, because it was quite serious, and I had spoken a little bit with him the last year, and it didn't seem like he was improving too well in the beginning, but obviously I think he did a great preseason, and coming down to Australia early, he's been there for almost a month now and getting used to the courts and the facilities, and just seems like he's been gaining confidence every match he's played. So he's looking fit and he's looking sharp, and I think if he has to go to 5 sets in the final, he will be fit and ready for it, I think.
Casper, tjena, Mats here. We could do this in English.
Yeah,
we do it in English. Sorry. We could do it in Norwegian, Swedish, same. We're from the same.
Yeah, if you two want to
No, Casper, I want to know for you players. We have Rafa Nadal, who's getting older, who doesn't play for 6 months. Surely the locker room thinks, okay, there is no way he's going to come back. This is the fastest hard courts in the world. Rafa on these courts. I mean, how surprised and impressed are you guys every single time he comes to a major?
I mean, it's tough to describe, but like I said, we were all a bit curious when this year started, and even, he had COVID just, 2 weeks prior to going to Australia, so he was playing the Abu Dhabi event, which I was actually supposed to play, but in the end I didn't, so, and when he played against Murray, I don't think he will say it was his best match ever, because he looked maybe a bit slow, and that's normal because it's his first match back, but then I think in a way, maybe COVID was good for him. He did maybe a lot of fitness in that period, staying home and doing a lot of work. And like I said, I think he's just been building confidence because he was there already right around New Year's Eve and been playing every single day at the facilities on the courts. And yes, they're fast, but he has always, tricky serve with the lefty serve. He goes out wide a lot, and it's tough for every opponent to play against his serve. And then obviously he moves well. And even though the courts are fast, I think they are quite bouncy. So his heavy shots are working well in a way.
Casper, it's Tim Henman here. I'm still in a little bit of shock having heard Rafa talk about his 2 days off after his match with Shapovalov. The first day he said he only practiced 15 minutes. The next day he said he practiced for an hour and a half. On your days off in between matches in slams, how long would you normally practice for?
Depending a little bit on how long I play the match the day before, obviously. I think for me, anytime you go past 3.5 or 4 hours in a 5 sets match, it kind of feels a bit different the day after, and you feel quite broken, like in your whole body. You feel like torn down and everything. So I think it's normal that you only feel the ball a little bit for 15 or 20 or even 30 minutes after such a tough battle like he had against Shapovalov. But he's always, playing intense, and I've watched him a couple times when he's come from winning Monte Carlo, and the day after he's already in Barcelona practicing for 3 full hours, So in a way, he's like a beast when it comes to this. But I'm not surprised hearing that he only did 15 or 20 minutes, because he looked quite torn down and he looked tired, but he was able to come through in a way, and it was very, very, very impressive to watch. And as a Nadal fan myself, it was quite nerve-wracking to watch the 4th and 5th set against Shapovalov, but in the end he came through like he's done so many times before.
I like how you say, in a way, he's a beast. No, he is a beast. No, I think, should we put him on the spot? I mean, it's the first time. That's what we do to newcomers to our show, right? Right? Yeah. Casper, who's your favorite for the GOAT race?
Oh, it's very tough, tough question, but My personal favorite has always been Rafa, because I watched him for so many years, and that's even the first memory I have of watching TV is him winning his first Roland Garros. I still remember, he's playing sleeveless against Puerta, I think, in the final, and running around like a maniac and, getting every ball back. So that's like the first memory I even have myself of watching TV and thinking myself when I was 6-7 years old that I would like to be on the screen myself. So in a way, he's the one who started my motivation for tennis. So it's tough for me not to say him. I think when we look at the slams, it's all even. Let's see what happens after this week. But when it comes to all other records, it's, you can't deny that Novak maybe has a couple of more records than the other ones. But for them, it seems like the Grand Slam count is the ultimate thing that they want to achieve. And I think they've all kind of approached it differently. I've seen Rafa say that for him, I don't think his happiness depends whether who has the most in the end. But I'm sure that when he plays the final tomorrow, he will have in the back of his mind that this is a good chance for him to maybe get another one.
I mean, guys, can you imagine Casper at 7 years old, 6 years old, running around in Oslo in his house? He's pushed his T-shirt up over his shoulder, and then he's trying to finish the forehand. And how does Casper finish his forehand? Like this, just trying. And Papa Christian is just sit down. I'm watching the final. I can see it.
Djokovic. 6-7, 7-6, 6-3, 6-2.